Have you ever met someone who just didn't feel right? Someone whose words and actions carried a hidden darkness? In a world where deception and manipulation lurk behind charming smiles, it's crucial to recognize the warning signs before it's too late. Today, we'll uncover 7 red flags that may reveal if the person next to you has a truly malicious nature, using the wisdom of Stoic philosophy to help you navigate toxic relationships with clarity and resilience. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to watch out for and how to protect your peace. Let's begin. Number 1. Red flag. Number 1. They delight in others' misfortune. One of the clearest red flags in a person's character is their enjoyment of others' misfortunes. This trait, often rooted in deep-seated insecurity, resentment, or a need to feel superior, reveals a lack of empathy and an unhealthy mindset. If someone consistently finds joy in the failures, struggles, or pain of others, it signals a potentially toxic personality. This behavior can manifest in various ways: laughing at someone's misfortune, gossiping about others' failures with excitement, or taking satisfaction in seeing someone else fall behind. While it's natural to occasionally feel relieved that we dodged a bullet or compare ourselves to others, a person who actively seeks out and relishes the downfall of others is demonstrating a serious character flaw. This kind of attitude is particularly dangerous in relationships, whether personal or professional. A friend who secretly enjoys your setbacks, a coworker who smirks when you make a mistake, or a partner who subtly undermines your confidence rather than uplifting you can be detrimental to your well-being. These individuals may disguise their pleasure in others' misfortunes as humor, sarcasm, or just being honest, but their consistent pattern of schadenfreude, taking pleasure in others' pain, should not be ignored. Over time, being around such a person can erode your self-esteem, making you feel like you're always being watched, judged, or subtly sabotaged. People who exhibit this behavior often lack emotional maturity and may struggle with their own insecurities. Instead of working on themselves or striving to improve, they choose to compare, belittle, and seek comfort in others' failures. This mindset can be especially damaging in a relationship, where a partner should ideally be your biggest supporter. If someone you're dating seems more excited when things go wrong for you, rather than celebrating your achievements, it's a major warning sign. A supportive partner should want to see you grow and succeed, not secretly hope for your struggles. In professional settings, this red flag can be even more insidious. A colleague who takes pleasure in your mistakes or a boss who subtly undermines your efforts may create a toxic work environment. Such individuals often mask their negativity under the guise of competition or tough love, but their ultimate goal is to feel superior at someone else's expense. This kind of behavior breeds distrust, discourages teamwork, and creates an unhealthy atmosphere where people are more focused on avoiding failure than on actual growth and progress. It's important to recognize the signs of this toxic trait early on. Someone who frequently laughs at others' failures, enjoys watching drama unfold, or gossips about people's struggles is revealing a lot about their true nature. Even if they are not targeting you directly at first, sooner or later, their need to tear others down may be directed at you. Pay attention to how they react to the success and hardships of those around them. Do they celebrate others' wins, or do they downplay and criticize them? Do they offer genuine sympathy when someone is struggling, or do they find entertainment in it? The healthiest relationships, whether friendships, romantic partnerships, or professional connections, are built on mutual respect, support, and empathy. If someone in your life seems to take delight in the misfortunes of others, it's a sign that their values and mindset may not align with the kind of positivity and encouragement you deserve. Instead of staying around such negativity, seek out people who uplift, inspire, and celebrate not just their own success, but the success of those around them. Recognizing and distancing yourself from toxic individuals is an important step in maintaining your mental and emotional well-being. Red flag number 2. They manipulate emotions to control you. Have you ever felt like someone in your life is always making you feel guilty, ashamed, or overly responsible for their emotions? Do you find yourself constantly walking on eggshells, Afraid of how they might react? If so, you might be dealing with an emotional manipulator. This is red flag number 2. They manipulate emotions to control you, one of the most insidious and damaging tactics used by toxic individuals. Manipulation can take many forms, but at its core, it's all about control. Instead of asking directly for what they want or resolving conflicts in a healthy way, manipulators use your emotions against you. They make you feel bad so that you'll do what they want, and over time, this erodes your confidence, independence, and even your sense of reality. But how exactly do they do this? One of the most common techniques is guilt tripping. A manipulator will make you feel like you owe them something even when you don't. They'll remind you of past favors, exaggerate their suffering, or say things like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me." They twist the situation to make you feel selfish or ungrateful, even when you're simply setting boundaries. Another classic sign is playing the victim. No matter what happens, they find a way to position themselves as the one who's been wronged. If you confront them about their behavior, they'll turn it around on you. Suddenly, you're the bad guy for bringing it up, and they're the poor, misunderstood person who just can't catch a break. This is designed to make you back down and feel guilty for even questioning them. Then there's gaslighting, one of the most dangerous forms of emotional manipulation. Gaslighting is when someone makes you doubt your own feelings, memories, or perception of reality. They might say things like, "That never happened," or "You're overreacting," or "You're too sensitive." Over time, this can make you question your judgment and become dependent on the manipulator to tell you what's real. Another tactic they use is love bombing and withdrawal. At first, they shower you with affection, compliments, and attention. You feel amazing, like you found the perfect friend, partner, or mentor. But as soon as they have you hooked, they start withdrawing that affection. They become cold, distant, or even mean. You'll feel desperate to win back their approval, which puts them in a position of power. This creates an emotional roller coaster that keeps you trapped in the relationship, always chasing the good times that never seem to last. Let's not forget silent treatment and passive aggression. Instead of addressing issues like an adult, manipulators punish you with silence, mood swings, or vague, hurtful comments. They want you to feel anxious and unsure of what you did wrong, so you'll bend over backward to please them. They may even use threats, whether subtle or direct, to keep you in line. "If you really loved me, you'd do this," or "I guess I just don't matter to you anymore." These tactics are designed to make you feel like the bad guy when, in reality, you're the one being mistreated. So, how do you protect yourself from emotional manipulation? First, recognize the signs. If someone frequently makes you feel guilty, anxious, or responsible for their emotions, take a step back and ask yourself, is this relationship healthy? Second, trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Manipulators thrive on making you doubt yourself, so reclaim your confidence by trusting your gut. Third, set boundaries and stick to them. A manipulator will push and test your limits, but you don't owe them constant explanations or justifications. A simple, firm "no, that doesn't work for me" is enough. Lastly, surround yourself with supportive people. A strong support system can remind you what a healthy, respectful relationship looks like and give you the strength to walk away from toxic ones. Remember, emotional manipulators want power over you, but you have the ability to take that power back. You are not responsible for managing someone else's emotions, and you don't have to let guilt, shame, or fear control your life. If someone constantly makes you feel bad just to get their way, it's a huge red flag, and you deserve better. What do you think? Have you ever encountered someone like this? Let me know in the comments, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video. Red flag number 3. They never take responsibility. One of the biggest red flags in any relationship, whether romantic, professional, or personal, is when someone refuses to take responsibility for their actions. A person who consistently shifts blame onto others, makes excuses, or downplays their mistakes is not only frustrating to deal with, but also emotionally draining. In healthy relationships, accountability is key. People who take responsibility for their actions recognize when they've made a mistake, acknowledge it, and take steps to correct it. However, when someone never takes responsibility, they engage in toxic behaviors that can manipulate, gaslight, and erode trust over time. You might notice this red flag in subtle ways at first. Perhaps they always have an excuse for why they were late, why they didn't complete a task, or why they hurt someone's feelings. Instead of admitting their role in the problem, they might blame external circumstances, other people, or even you. Over time, this pattern becomes more extreme, and they might start twisting facts or rewriting history to make themselves look like the victim. For example, if they hurt your feelings, they may say, "You're too sensitive," rather than apologizing. If they fail at something, they may claim that the system was rigged against them, rather than acknowledging their own shortcomings. This refusal to take ownership makes it nearly impossible to have productive conversations, solve problems, or build a foundation of trust. It forces you into the exhausting role of constantly justifying your feelings, questioning your perception of reality, or even apologizing for things that weren't your fault. In extreme cases, this behavior can be a form of manipulation known as gaslighting, where they distort the truth so much that you start doubting your own memory or experiences. The impact of being around someone who never takes responsibility can be incredibly damaging. You might find yourself walking on eggshells, avoiding confrontation because you know they'll never admit fault or make you feel guilty for bringing up the issue. You may also feel emotionally drained from always being the one who has to fix problems, accommodate their excuses, or shoulder the blame they refuse to accept. Over time, this dynamic erodes self-esteem and creates an unhealthy power imbalance where the person dodging responsibility is in control, while you're left feeling unheard and invalidated. So, what can you do when faced with this red flag? First, recognize it for what it is, a toxic pattern. Understand that their refusal to take responsibility is not a reflection of your worth, but a defense mechanism they use to avoid accountability. Next, set firm boundaries. If someone refuses to acknowledge their mistakes or unfairly blames you, refuse to engage in that cycle. Instead of trying to prove yourself or argue with their excuses, simply state your boundaries and walk away when necessary. Surround yourself with people who take accountability and have open, honest conversations about conflict and mistakes. Healthy relationships are built on trust, self-awareness, and mutual respect, all of which require taking responsibility when things go wrong. If you notice this red flag in a friend, partner, co-worker, or even a family member, take it as a serious warning sign. If they never take responsibility now, they're unlikely to change without significant effort on their part. The longer you stay in such relationships, the more you may find yourself drained, frustrated, and doubting your own reality. Ultimately, the best thing you can do is protect your peace by choosing to invest in relationships with people who own up to their mistakes, learn from them, and work toward growth. Remember, a person who never takes responsibility is showing you who they are. It's up to you to decide whether you want to accept that or walk away. Red flag number 4. They break trust without remorse. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship, whether it's romantic, platonic, or professional. When someone consistently breaks your trust without showing any remorse, it's a glaring red flag that shouldn't be ignored. Trust is built over time through honesty, reliability, and mutual respect. But once it's broken, especially without any signs of guilt or willingness to make amends, it reveals a deep character flaw in the person responsible. A person who violates trust without remorse is showing you that they do not value your feelings or the relationship itself. They are more concerned with their own desires, convenience, or personal gain than with maintaining the integrity of the bond you share. This behavior can manifest in many ways, such as lying, cheating, betraying confidences, making false promises, or failing to uphold commitments. While everyone makes mistakes, a remorseful person will acknowledge their wrongdoings, offer a sincere apology, and take steps to rebuild trust. In contrast, Someone who lacks remorse will justify their actions, shift blame, or downplay the impact of their betrayal, making you feel as though your pain is unwarranted or exaggerated. One of the most damaging aspects of dealing with a person who repeatedly breaks trust is the emotional toll it takes on you. It creates a constant state of anxiety, where you are left questioning their words and actions, never truly feeling secure. When someone refuses to take accountability for breaking trust, it forces you to second-guess yourself, sometimes even making you feel guilty for expecting honesty and respect. Over time, this can erode your self-esteem and make you more vulnerable to manipulation. A person who continuously betrays trust without remorse often lacks empathy, making them capable of repeating their harmful behaviors without hesitation. They may use charm, manipulation, or gaslighting techniques to convince you that the problem isn't their behavior, but rather your reaction to it. They might say things like, "You're too sensitive," or "I didn't think it was a big deal," attempting to dismiss or minimize your feelings. In healthy relationships, trust is treated as a precious and fragile bond that should be protected and nurtured. When mistakes happen, both parties work together to heal and rebuild confidence. However, when dealing with someone who shows no remorse for breaking trust, you are left in an unhealthy cycle of disappointment and betrayal. No matter how much you forgive or give them chances to change, their lack of regret means they are unlikely to correct their behavior. In many cases, these individuals see apologies as a tool for damage control rather than a genuine expression of regret. They may say what you want to hear in order to regain your trust temporarily, only to repeat their actions when the opportunity arises. It's important to recognize this red flag early and set firm boundaries. Trust is not something that should be given freely to someone who repeatedly proves unworthy of it. If you find yourself in a relationship where your trust is consistently broken and there is no remorse, you must prioritize your well-being. No amount of love, history, or hope for change can make up for the emotional damage caused by ongoing betrayal. Instead of investing your energy in someone who doesn't respect you, focus on surrounding yourself with people who value honesty, integrity, and genuine connection. When trust is broken without remorse, it's a clear sign that the person is not invested in a healthy, respectful relationship. No one deserves to feel as though their feelings don't matter. Recognizing this red flag and taking action to protect yourself is one of the most empowering steps you can take. Red flag number 5. They use others as mere tools. When dealing with people, one of the biggest red flags to watch out for is when someone sees others as mere tools to be used for their own gain. This behavior is a clear indication of manipulation and self-centeredness, often seen in individuals who lack empathy and genuine concern for others. People who exhibit this trait view relationships as transactional. They only engage with others when they need something, whether it be money, connections, favors, or even emotional support. Once they have extracted what they want, they may quickly discard or ignore the person, showing no appreciation or reciprocation. Such individuals are skilled at disguising their intentions. They can be incredibly charming, persuasive, and strategic in their approach. They know how to make others feel valued and needed, at least until their objective is met. This makes it difficult for people to immediately recognize their exploitative nature. They might use flattery, false promises, or even guilt-tripping to get what they want, making it seem as if they genuinely care. However, once their goal is achieved, their interest fades, and they move on to the next target. A classic example of this behavior can be seen in workplaces, friendships, or even romantic relationships. In professional settings, this could be a colleague who befriends others solely to climb the corporate ladder. They may shower someone with attention when they need help on a project or a recommendation, only to disappear once they get what they want. In friendships, this can look like a person who only reaches out when they need a favor, but is never there when their friend needs support. In romantic relationships, it may manifest as a partner who exploits their significant other's kindness, finances, or emotional availability without giving anything in return. The emotional toll of being used in this manner can be significant. Those who fall victim to such individuals often feel drained, unappreciated, and even betrayed. They may question their own worth or blame themselves for not recognizing the signs earlier. This is why it is crucial to be aware of this red flag and set boundaries. If someone consistently takes but never gives, or if they only seem interested in you when they need something, it's important to reassess the relationship and protect your emotional well-being. One of the best ways to handle such individuals is to establish firm boundaries. Recognizing patterns of one-sided interactions can help you avoid being manipulated. Pay attention to whether the person is genuinely interested in you beyond what you can provide for them. Healthy relationships, whether professional, platonic, or romantic, are built on mutual respect, care, and reciprocity. If you notice a pattern where someone continuously prioritizes their needs over yours without any consideration, it may be best to distance yourself from them. At the end of the day, true relationships are based on sincerity and mutual support. While it is natural to help and rely on others, there must be balance. If you find yourself constantly giving while receiving nothing in return, it is a sign to reevaluate the relationship. Protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being should always be a priority. If someone only sees you as a tool for their own benefit, they do not deserve a place in your life. Red flag number 6, they show no self-control or discipline. Self-control and discipline are fundamental traits of a responsible and trustworthy person. When someone lacks these qualities, it often leads to reckless behavior, instability, and an inability to maintain commitments. One major red flag in any relationship, whether personal, professional, or romantic, is when a person demonstrates a complete disregard for self-restraint. This could manifest in various ways, such as impulsive spending, unhealthy lifestyle choices, emotional outbursts, or an inability to follow through on promises. If they struggle to manage their time, finances, or emotions, it can create chaos not only in their own life but in yours as well. A person who lacks self-discipline often acts on impulse without considering the consequences. They might frequently cancel plans at the last minute, switch goals without making meaningful progress, or indulge in destructive habits like excessive drinking, gambling, or reckless spending. These behaviors indicate a lack of long-term thinking, which can be dangerous if you're looking to build a stable future with them. Their inability to commit to personal growth or maintain responsibilities means they will likely expect others, friends, family, or even a partner, to pick up the slack. Over time, this imbalance can lead to frustration and resentment, as you may find yourself constantly dealing with the fallout of their poor decisions. In relationships, a lack of self-control can also manifest in emotional volatility. Someone who cannot regulate their emotions might lash out during minor disagreements, react aggressively to criticism, or struggle with jealousy and insecurity. Their inability to remain calm under pressure can make conflicts exhausting and unpredictable. Instead of working through issues in a mature and rational way, they may resort to yelling, silent treatment, or even manipulation to get their way. Over time, this instability can create a toxic environment where you feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells to avoid triggering their next emotional outburst. Professionally, a lack of discipline can be just as harmful. If someone repeatedly shows up late to work, misses deadlines, or avoids responsibility, it reflects a deeper problem: an unwillingness to hold themselves accountable. These traits can be frustrating if you rely on them in any capacity, whether as a colleague, business partner, or friend. A person who lacks the discipline to put in effort or follow through on commitments will often drag others down with them. They may blame external circumstances for their failures, rather than recognizing their own role in the situation. This kind of mindset makes it difficult to trust them in any serious endeavor, as they are unlikely to rise to the occasion when challenges arise. Another key sign of poor self-discipline is an unwillingness to delay gratification. People who constantly chase short-term pleasure without considering the long-term consequences often struggle to achieve real success or stability. They may prefer partying over saving money, procrastinating over working toward their goals, or seeking instant validation instead of developing meaningful relationships. This kind of short-sighted thinking can be frustrating, especially if you value consistency and ambition. No matter how charming or fun they may seem in the moment, their lack of discipline will eventually cause problems, whether in their personal development, career, or relationships. Recognizing this red flag early on can save you from a great deal of stress. While everyone struggles with self-control from time to time, a consistent pattern of reckless behavior, irresponsibility, and emotional instability should not be ignored. Relationships, whether romantic, professional, or platonic, require trust, reliability, and personal accountability. If someone repeatedly demonstrates that they cannot manage their own life, it's unlikely they will be able to contribute positively to yours. Instead of trying to fix or accommodate their behavior, it's often best to set firm boundaries and distance yourself before their lack of discipline starts negatively impacting your own well-being. Red flag number 7, they lack genuine compassion. In relationships, whether romantic, platonic, or professional, compassion is one of the defining traits that separates authentic, kind-hearted individuals from those who lack emotional depth. When someone consistently shows an absence of genuine compassion, it's a glaring red flag that should never be ignored. Compassion is more than just saying the right words in moments of distress. It's about truly understanding and caring about another person's emotions, pain, and struggles. A person who lacks compassion might offer superficial sympathy, but rarely takes meaningful action to help or support others. Their concern often feels performative, something they do because they feel obligated rather than because they genuinely care. Over time, this lack of empathy reveals itself in cold indifference, dismissiveness, and an inability to connect on a deeper emotional level. One of the most obvious signs of a lack of compassion is how they react to other people's hardships. When someone you care about is going through a difficult time, whether it's a personal loss, illness, or emotional distress, compassionate people naturally respond with concern, support, and a willingness to help. But those who lack genuine compassion often downplay the situation or make it about themselves. Instead of offering comfort, they may say things like, "It's not that bad," "You're overreacting," or "I had it worse." Rather than acknowledging pain, they trivialize it, leaving the other person feeling invalidated and unheard. This behavior stems from an inability, or refusal, to put themselves in another person's shoes. Another way this red flag manifests is in their reactions to other people's successes. While someone with genuine compassion celebrates the achievements of others with joy, those who lack it may respond with jealousy, indifference, or even subtle resentment. They may refuse to acknowledge another person's accomplishments or downplay them by saying, "It's not a big deal," or "anyone could do that." Their inability to share in someone else's happiness shows that they struggle with emotional generosity. Compassionate people uplift those around them, whereas those who lack it tend to diminish others, making it clear that their concern for people only extends as far as it serves them. This red flag becomes even more apparent in their behavior toward those they perceive as unimportant. Watch how they treat waitstaff, customer service workers, or people who have nothing to offer them. A lack of compassion often surfaces in moments when kindness isn't expected, when there's no social pressure to behave appropriately. If they are rude, dismissive, or outright cruel to those they consider beneath them, it speaks volumes about their true character. A person with real compassion treats everyone with basic dignity, regardless of their social status. If they only show kindness when it benefits them, their empathy isn't real. It's conditional, performative, and ultimately self-serving. Perhaps the most dangerous aspect of a person lacking compassion is their response to your own pain. If you express hurt, disappointment, or distress, do they listen with patience, or do they become defensive? Do they try to understand your feelings, or do they gaslight you into thinking your emotions are irrational? People who lack genuine compassion often turn the tables when confronted with the impact of their actions. Instead of acknowledging how they've hurt you, they might shift the blame, making you feel guilty for even bringing it up. This kind of emotional neglect can be deeply damaging, making you question whether your feelings are valid at all. Ultimately, compassion is the foundation of meaningful human connections. Without it, relationships become transactional, one-sided, and emotionally exhausting. If you notice someone consistently lacking genuine compassion, Take it as a serious red flag. Over time, being around such a person can erode your self-worth, leaving you feeling unseen and unappreciated. True kindness isn't about empty words. It's about consistent actions that show real care. The absence of compassion is more than just a character flaw. It's a warning sign that should not be ignored. Recognizing these red flags can help you protect yourself from toxic and malicious individuals. The Stoics taught us to cultivate wisdom, discernment, and inner strength, allowing us to navigate life with clarity and resilience. If you notice these warning signs in someone around you, don't ignore them. Trust your instincts and set firm boundaries. True strength comes not from controlling others but from mastering yourself. Stay vigilant, stay wise, and choose to surround yourself with people who embody virtue, not vice. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need this wisdom. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.